Hello and welcome back to Harry Shoots People, and welcome to week 3 of Film February. We're here with friend of the channel and photographer Joe Griffiths, and we're going to shoot some Polaroid 600 speed black and white film today. Pretty exciting, only ever shot colour Polaroid, so we're just going to take some portraits and see what we can make of it. We have 2 Polaroid cameras today, because they've been breaking a little bit recently, so hopefully that doesn't happen. But yeah, let's get the black and white loaded up. Okay, so now the black and white's loaded up, what we're going to do here is take a nice portrait of Joe with the natural light as sort of the fill light, and then Joe will be completely shadowed out, and then we'll see how the first shot of the black and white came out looking. Whoa, it's blue! You can't see, but
so aggressive.
Immediately put that in darkness. Okay, big reveal, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's kind of wicked. That's kind of sick. I mean, it's turned out blurry and blown out as hell, but it's pretty cool.
And I did a kickflip. Frame.
So this is our first shot. This actually came out looking pretty cool. So like I was saying, we were both really impressed by how this first shot came out. I think the sort of like really overexposed backdrop came out really nice, and it gives it this sort of hazy white, sort of heavenly glow, or like a sea of brightness look to it, which I really enjoy. It also kind of reminds me of, it's kind of got like an Ingmar Bergman sort of vibe to it, which I'm also a really big fan of. And I think that nice sort of hazy contrast also works really well. So yeah, I was really happy with this first image, and we're off to a super nice start. So with this second portrait here, we're going to take one with the flash and see how that turns out. So let's do that now.
My routine.
Okay. It's arty. So yeah, you can see that it's blue. That's pretty cool. No, then this way, and then
again.
with your work. She's crouched a little bit.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Great. And these next two came out unbelievably. I got pretty worried doing this shoot because for the last couple of months I've been working on a video about David Hockney's Polaroid work, sort of recreating it as my own. And the pack of film that I bought just seemed to come out completely muddy, fuzzy, like hazy. So I was worried that this camera and also the one I bought from Jimmy, both of them were broken, or there was something wrong with mold or fungus in the lens. So it's nice that these have that sharpness and are showing that they're not broken. It was in fact just a bad pack of film. But yeah, like I said, came out really nice. With the flash on, you actually get a really nice sharpness and a nice level of detail too. And so far, I'm really impressed with the film just off these 3 shots. It's nice, it's sharp, it's contrasty, and it has a very different look to how you would normally expect a Polaroid to look too, which I like. So here are the 2 shots that we just shot. They came out really, really sharp, and the film is really nice. We've still got 5 shots to go. We'll probably shoot a couple more with a flash. Maybe get a little bit more experimental like this one. Let's go. Okay. Unfortunately for this shot, there really just wasn't enough light. I didn't actually know what the shutter speed of the camera was, because it doesn't say, it's just flash or no flash. But unfortunately, it didn't come out exactly how I'd envisioned. It's a pretty dim image. You can sort of make out Joe in the midst of it, which is kind of cool, but I just would have liked a little bit more light. However, with this next shot, I decided to use that lack of light to my advantage, as obviously we knew about 10 minutes after the Polaroids were done what they were looking like, and that's the benefit. We could see and sort of work with that in real time, and it's a good thing that technology hasn't been invented yet for you to look at your shots in real time. There's no way to do that. So yeah, we decided to use the lack of light to our advantage and go for like a slow shutter blurred portrait.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's pretty nifty. So the slow shutter speed sort of captures the ambience really nicely.
That is good.
Yeah, that's...
I need a Polaroid. If anyone wants to donate.
Yeah,
Hopefully
that's the
my
one.
hand was moving then.
So with 2 shots left on the roll, we decided to head outside and see what kind of inspiration struck. Unfortunately though, this is probably the weakest of the images that day. I do kind of like the flash, like the full frontal flash shooting outside and sort of completely overexposing the highlights in Joe's face, so it's just sort of one tone. But it's just not as strong as the other images, which is okay. Okay, so for this last shot, we've got Joe against the brick wall, and we're going to get him to jump, and hopefully it'll come out nice. And it did come out pretty nice, in my opinion. Once again, really big fan of the sort of blown out whites in the image, and it's sort of taken in this sort of weird negative space that you can't exactly tell where the photo's been taken, which I also kind of like, and that little bit of motion too. That's also kind of nice. So after all the fun was over, we headed back to Joe's and scanned in all the Polaroids. So Joe, are you happy with today's shoot?
Yeah.
That's good.
I've never been shot on Polaroid before.
There's a first time for everything. 8 times actually, to be specific. What's your favourite shot from the day?
That one.
Nice. That looks just like you. So, with week 3 of Film February over, what did I think of the Polaroid black and white 600 speed film? Honestly, once again, I'm pretty impressed. I was so impressed by how sharp and clear the images came out, especially given how with Polaroid it's normally a little bit muddy, it's normally a little bit like not the highest quality images, but these came out great. I think obviously it's a lot easier to see the contrast on black and white film, but they just came out so sort of crisp and they look even better in person. I did have to adjust the scans slightly to get them darker and like try and get them as rich as they are in person, but I think I did a pretty good job. Also, I guess the benefit with Polaroid is I've now got these. But yeah, maybe the added little bit of contrast is what gives it that sort of more refined look, even though it's virtually the same kind of chemistry as the colour Polaroid sheets. So obviously we shot all of this on the Polaroid 600 land camera, but there's so many different models out there in terms of like you could use an Instax, you could use the SX70, you could use whatever other variation they make that's £200. But I think this did a pretty good job. Unfortunately, the one downside to Polaroid photography at the minute is just how expensive it is. I think I paid roughly £25 or so for this pack, which makes each of the 8 images £3 each, which is just kind of insane. So I'd be pretty happy to shoot more of it if they could lower the cost just a tiny bit, or a lot, ideally. I think strangely my favourite is this first image that we took. I don't know, something about it just came out so nice. Obviously, as you can see there, it is just a touch darker in real life, which also makes it nice. And also, my second favourite is this one, which is conveniently Joe's favourite. So, overall, I think another successful week of Film February. Really happy with how it's going so far. Very excited to see what comes in the next week. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know which was your favourite shot in the comments below, and let me know if you'll be shooting any Polaroid black and white 600 speed film in the comments below too. You can and should check out Joe's work on Instagram here, and also on his website here. Also on my channel is a review/interview of his photo book 45 Minutes North, so if you want to check that out, that'll be linked in the description too, as will his Instagram and his website, so go check him out. So if you enjoyed this video, drop it a like, and if you'd like to see more of my photography, or the last week of Film February 4, covering a stock that rhymes with Ducky C200, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching.